Hey, welcome. No Narratives Podcast, episode 3 with my guy Kyle. Y'all know,
Hey,
usual
yo, what's
suspects
going on?
here. I'm Red Nation Blogger. I got the Rockets hat on. He has a Houston Cougars hat on. So you know it's probably
Gotta
going to
rep.
be something that's predominantly Houston. So if
Amen.
that's not your thing, I don't care. Watch the video. And if it is your thing, welcome. We're about to talk about the red hot Houston Rockets, man. Like
Smoking.
7 in a row. They beat the Chicago Bulls. It's phenomenal. I'm in such a good mood, right? Like I was watching that game and I kind of knew it was going to be a test. I knew the Bulls are missing Zach LaVine and they've had injuries, but I didn't care because Houston has injuries and this is play-in time. Both teams wanted it. And how did you feel about the game? I know you went. How did you feel about the game?
Did.
What was the atmosphere in the arena?
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was 100% crazy. It took a second for everyone to kind of get into it. It was kind of slow there in the first couple minutes of the game itself, but I mean that's to be expected. That's to be expected.
Got hit in the face.
Yeah. Like literally, like the first 11 seconds into the game, and I think I looked down. I put my drink down, looked up, and I'm like, oh damn. Like, what the heck? We can't even make it a full 15 seconds. So yeah, that, and then of course it was like a timeout instantly for another 5 minutes. So the game really didn't get going until like
I think it was a sign of things to come. It was a sign of things to come of that game. Like the game started off. Now I will say unintentionally chippy, but it was still a physical game. Literally,
it was a
from
physical
the tip.
game, and it was crazy because, and I will say this, it really seemed like. And I'm not trying to throw shade at officiating in any way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But it felt like they were calling fouls for a certain team versus another team. Like they were calling soft fouls for the Bulls, and they were calling harder fouls for the Rockets. More notably, I noticed that Jabari could never get into a rhythm in the game. I think he got 2 quick fouls early on in the first quarter and sat like. He was already out of the game in like the first 4 minutes of the first quarter, and then he sat until like halfway through. I think he might have came out. He might have came out with the starting unit for the second quarter, but then he picked up another quick foul, and they sat him down for the rest of the half.
He had 3 in the first half.
He could never get. He can never really get a groove. He can never get his feet going, or he can never really get his feet set and get in a rhythm. And that was evident in the fourth quarter when he was hoisting up shots left and right in the fourth quarter. And I think it was just trying to get something. He was just trying to get something going, and he was breaking them. Like it wasn't like off the front of the rim, back of the rim. He was just trying to finally get a groove. And then I think finally Fred hit him with I think they did some sort of pick and pop, and he drew back to the 3-point line. Fred got him, and he hit it straight away 3, and it kind of got him going a little bit. He hit a couple of more layups after that.
No, he was 0 for 4 from 3. He was 0 for 4 from 3 last night. He didn't make. I think he made a lay. He made 2 buckets. I think he was 2 for 10. 0 for 4 from 3. He had 5 points.
Okay,
he had an and 1.
Yeah, so
I think he had an that might have been what it was. And 1. I think he had
that might have been what it was.
Yeah, he had like 5 points, 3 rebounds. As you said, he was out of the game for sure.
And it was, and I know you and I are getting ready to talk about him because we're highly critical of him for obvious reasons. We're going to talk about him still, but you could tell in that game, whenever number 4 got the ball, the fans wanted him to do something. Like they wanted him to continue this, this hot streak that he's on a personal level, because he's been cooking the last, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks, even going back 3 weeks.
He is on a special tear. He's going to win Western Conference Player of the Month. And with the Rockets' upcoming schedule, March is almost over. But with the Rockets' upcoming schedule, they play Utah on Saturday, which is tomorrow, and then they play Portland on Monday. The Rockets have an opportunity to win 9 games in a row before they go and play OKC on Wednesday. And even then, that could be a big-time game. The Rockets, for whatever it's worth, have played OKC kind of tough, even in the seasons with Silas. SGA struggled, and I understand that was a different team, but this is a different Rockets team. And it seems like Jalen Green is turning a corner with his play. This is the 3rd game in a row I saw him do a look-away 3. This is the third game. I'm like,
Yep.
this is becoming a norm now. I've never seen anybody do that. Like, I've never seen it before. Have you?
It's just he's being the one thing I've noticed. Not much. It didn't happen early on in this game. It started happening a little bit later. I more so after what we're more than likely going to talk about a little later on in the show. What the incident that took place in the third quarter. But after that incident, he was a lot more aggressive, and I started to see him be a lot more aggressive, and that's what's been his biggest. His biggest catalyst to this run that he's been on is he's being aggressive and he's looking for his shot. Now, I remember the last time we talked, you didn't want him taking as many threes, and I think last night he shot up like 7 or 8. Oh, he shot up 12. Yeah. So, and there was a couple.
At one point, he was 4 for 10.
Yeah. One, and I'm just like, and honestly,
the ones he's trying to draw fouls on, he's trying to draw fouls on those threes. I don't like those. I don't. You don't get that
honestly,
call.
even though I felt like it should have been a foul, the 3 that he took at the end of the first half, that I don't know what he was really trying to accomplish. I felt like it could have been a foul, but they didn't call it. I'm just like, what are you doing? I think there was like 10 seconds left or 8 seconds left. You could have got a legitimate look at the rim, and in that moment,
oh yes, I remember, and they trapped him late. And they trapped him late, and he shot up that shot.
And he had to throw up a shot. He had to throw up some BS shot. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, I remember saying that, and as we was going into as the buzzer hit, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. But I mean, at that point,
but let's be positive though. Let's be positive.
Yeah, like, no,
7 in a row. 7 in a row.
7 in a row. 7. I'm
Jalen is averaging like 30.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's okay. Listen,
that's all that is.
It's okay. If we're going to be critical, we need to be critical of Jabari Smith. But I'm not going to be critical because he's 20. He's a year 2. I don't care. We won. I don't care. But at the end of the day, this streak is really impressive. And I'm at that point where I'm like, I don't want this to end. I want it to be a game or a half game between Houston and Golden State for the play-in when they match up later on this year, when the Rockets match up against the Warriors. I really want it to be a close in the standings. I want the Rockets to be the team to knock the Warriors out of the play-in. I want that. Like, I need that. I don't care about the Lakers. Like, the Lakers, I don't care. I don't care about the Dallas Mavericks or the Sacramento Kings. They're not going to catch them anyway. I want to knock out the Golden State Warriors. I just that's just how I feel like on the inside. What about you?
I got you. No, I'm right there with you. With the amount of, as a Houston fan, the amount of stress and emotional damage that the Golden State Warriors have done to us Houston fans over the course of the last decade, it would be nice to shatter their hearts and send them packing before the end of the dynasty.
I want to end the dynasty. That's what I want to do. I want to be the team. I want us to be the team to end the dynasty. That would be the cherry on top. A decade in hell, as you said, a decade definitely in hell.
And then it's like, even when we're not going at them, and even when, like the last several years when, Harden left, we basically stripped the whole team. We're buying into this whole rebuild process. We still had to live through the Golden State Warriors doing what the Golden State Warriors do. And it's been, like you said, it's been a decade of hell. It never stopped. So
absolutely.
I mean, I get 100% what you're saying.
But again, let's not depress the fans. Let's not depress them. This is a happy pod. I want this to be a happy episode. I want this to be a happy pod, man. I really do. Dylan Brooks, let's talk about him. He was phenomenal before the ejection. And the ejection was bullshit. Okay. Chicago Bulls announcers, you were at the game. I was watching the game from the Chicago Bulls announcers. They said that Dylan Brooks.
I heard it today.
They said Dylan Brooks. He instigated it. I was like, bruh, taking up for a teammate is crazy.
It's not.
This is crazy. What are we doing?
I told my dad, because my dad didn't see it. I was just like, I don't give a shit what anybody's saying. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to cuss as much. But DeMar DeRozan came up on Jalen Green like he was on a safety blitz and just fucking ran into him. Like, bro, he didn't even go after the ball. He went he didn't even go after the ball. He just went.
He was mad because he got his shot blocked. He was mad because he got his shot blocked.
Oh yeah, he was mad. He was in his feelings.
Take it away.
And then I saw today that DeMar DeRozan's bitch ass. Yeah, I'm saying DeMar DeRozan's bitch ass came out today and say, "Oh, Dylan Brooks shouldn't have came at me. That's what instigated the whole thing. What? No, you fucking running into Jalen Green is what instigated the whole thing, you moron. What the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
Dylan Brooks came
up to you.
How
players are.
Oh, I know. They're going to fucking, they're going to play it like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Bro, no. Dylan Brooks came over and checked you because you ran into his teammate, you ran into his homie, and he came over and checked you. He was holding you accountable, and you, like a bitch, not only got in his face, you threw an elbow at him, and then you go say, get the fuck off me after you threw an elbow. What do you want him to do? No, you throwing an elbow at me, dog. I'm going to go ball up in the corner. Nah, you lucky he didn't sock your stupid ass because I would have punched you square in the fucking face,
I really, the altercation, I liked Dylan Brooks taking up for Jalen Green. I like this team's overall chippiness. Like, even for Cam Whitmore, Thompson, it's been like this. I like it. But the thing that we really got to talk about is the referee's explanation. You don't eject somebody with one technical. You eject somebody for 2 technicals or a flagrant 2 foul. That's why you eject the player. You don't eject the player for one technical.
And this is what I was saying to one of the guys sitting next to me. I was just like, you know what? They're going back to review it. And this was before they came out with the announcement for anything that they're going to say. They're going back to review it. It's no doubt going to be a flagrant. Now, I could see them doing a flagrant 1 and then issuing a technical to DeMar DeRozan, which would be an ejection at that point. Now, I could see that. And I could see them issuing a technical to Dylan Brooks. I did not see them ejecting Dylan Brooks. And when we heard, and when he first came in and announced that after review, DeMar DeRozan has been issued a flagrant 2 foul. He's been ejected from the game. The entire stadium erupted, as you would expect. All of Toyota Center erupted, as you would expect. And then when it kept on going and saying Dylan Brooks hasn't been issued a technical and he's been ejected as well, everyone was like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, it was the officiating in last night's game. And like I said, I don't want to talk and I don't want to criticize about officiating because, everybody, including the NFL and even the MLB and everybody with officials, they get all sensitive. And this can be a topic for another day, but we need to start holding officials accountable. But last night's officiating was...
They hold them accountable privately. That's what I don't like. They hold them accountable privately.
Exactly.
Personally,
they hold them accountable.
I wasn't paying as much attention to the game as you were, but from what I saw, I didn't really see anything crazy with the free throw attempts. I know Jabari got in foul trouble, but I think this is his second game in a row, if I'm wrong, getting in foul trouble. The last game he just finished with 18 and 14.
And honestly, that could really be him playing a position that he's not necessarily used to playing.
Yeah, he's not used to it. That's what I was thinking. Then they playing a double big lineup.
Yeah. He's not used to being a 5.
And you know what? Also, I was watching the game, and Thompson was like on the bench for a long period of time, and I was like, "Damn, like he not playing bad." But I think that he wasn't making his threes.
But he wasn't hitting his threes, and there was a few times that he got, and there was a few times where he looked lost on defense. A few times he got blew by Kobe White blew by him. And I cannot pronounce his name, but oh boy, who led the Bulls in scoring, he also blew by him a couple of times as well. So I think this is Ime holding them accountable. Hey, you're not doing, you're not producing. I'm going to put the other players out there who are. Aaron Holiday came in 8 points instantly. That's what jumped us out to part of that 19-point lead that we had. Jock Landale was insane last night. I got to give him his flowers. He came in, and it's not that he's necessarily doing anything great, like shooting the 3 or anything. It's just his hustle and his effort. He's always around. He's playing solid defense, and he's getting in there too. He's being chippy with them as well. He wasn't back.
Has been a revelation. He's been a revelation.
Not been backing down from Andre. He didn't
10 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yep.
Yes, he was battling on the boards.
He was battling on the boards. He was passing the ball around.
This was a bench game.
Oh, yeah, and this was a good bench game. This was a really good bench game because Jeff Green also put in some really clutch threes when we needed it.
Aaron Holiday went on an 8-0 run by himself. Like crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
he went on an 8-0 run by himself.
And I think that's why you saw Amen Thompson on the floor or on the bench, because if you really think about it, down the stretch, the Bulls were playing Vucevic and they were playing Drummond at the same time, and we weren't matching up well. And
they've been doing that kind of all season.
They said they've been doing that for like the last couple of weeks. And I think that's why Amen wasn't out there, because of matchup reasons.
That's true.
Jalen's your leading scorer right now, so you're not pulling him out. You want Fred to be handling the rock, or you want Fred out there for veteran leadership, and then you've got Jeff Green and Jock Landale, and then the and I don't remember who the other player was, if I'm not
Reggie
mistaken.
Bullock or Jayshawn Tate. One of the
Reggie
other two.
Bullock. Reggie Bullock had a
Reggie
couple
Bullock
of
or
good plays.
Jayshawn Tate.
Jayshawn Tate.
But I would much rather see Amen Thompson than those two. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I would.
But
100%.
I do understand. You know, the lineup and, you know, adjusting to the adjustment. I do understand that. But the bench, I just want to give the bench a huge shout out. Like, I think that Aaron Holiday went straight at Kobe White. Like, it was crazy. I loved it.
The bench is what honestly saved this game. Don't get me wrong. We had the starters did their thing. When Dylan Brooks, before he got ejected, he was doing his thing offensively, being aggressive. Jalen woke up after the incident that happened in the third quarter. He woke up and started hitting his shots and you know, being more aggressive. But the bench helped us get the 19-point lead. And then when it became a close game, Jeff Green came in, Jock Landale came in, and, you know, their hustle and their, you know, their shot, the shot making that they did, really kind of helped us stabilize everything and kind of helped everything get back to where we're at. All in all, it was an amazing atmosphere. Great game. Fans were definitely more into it than they have been in the last we'll just say the last couple of years. It was definitely wild, definitely a fun experience. My first game in like 5 years. I think the last time I went was in 2019. So I definitely had fun. I definitely enjoyed it.
It was an enjoyable game. Jalen has 100%. A certain pop, like, to his game. Well, it's just fun when he gets into those scoring stretches, because the ability, like, he can mix his game up, go baseline, give you a thunderous dunk. In a fast break, he's a blur.
Yep.
You know, he's just like you waiting to see what he does. In the half court, when he's driving to the rim and he has an opening and a crevice, you just looking to see, is he going to dunk over the defender, or is he going to do one of the best finishes that you've ever seen? Like, Jalen is he's just really fun to watch at
and
this moment.
Crazy is the fact
I'm so glad he came out on the other side of the criticism. I'm so glad that he did, because it was a lot of criticism. It was.
He's been getting a lot of criticism. And, you know, the one thing that I've seen him evolve more of in the last, we'll just say during this stretch that we've been playing without Alp, and basically this stretch where we've been winning, is it almost is like he's embraced the role of being that leader that he was talking about being in the offseason. You see him acting more like a leader. You see him playing defense. He's been playing defense, and you see him more engaged in other aspects of the game other than just scoring. He's passing the ball around. Even if it's not leading to him getting an assist, he's passing the ball to someone else who may have a better angle at passing it to the player who scores. So, in other words, he's getting the hockey assist. So, it's been really cool seeing it. It's been really cool and encouraging seeing his evolution, basically.
Absolutely. I think that we are about, who knows what we're gonna see going forward. Like, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. Utah can beat Houston. Portland can beat Houston if they don't go in there, check every box, dot every I, cross every T. They can definitely be had, so they got to continue this up. And I still want Jalen to play well as they accumulate these wins. I'm just really, really, really kind of just tempered enthusiasm. I guess that's what I call it. Tempered enthusiasm. Like, get to a situation where we're not over the top, we're not too high, we're not too low, we're even keel. We can depend on consistency, because that's really what I'm looking for, is for the Houston Rockets to depend on consistency. That's all I've ever wanted. And if they can do that, they can do this all the way up into the play-in. All the way into the play-in, I think.
And 100%. And this is the thing, like, and I've always been this way, where I don't want to have expectations, because if you don't have expectations, then you won't get burned in the long run. I wasn't expecting them to really be a play-in team this year. I still felt like they were another year away, because you still had a bunch of young players developing. I'm liking the run that they're on right now. If they make a run at the play-in and get in the play-in, great. I mean, I'm all for that, 100%. However, if they make a run and they don't get the play-in, it's like, okay, y'all built on this year. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
You have built towards the end of the year, and this goes back to what you're saying about consistency. Can you carry that over to next year? When you've got a healthy, when you've got a healthier Alperen Sengun, when you've got a healthy Tari Easton coming back, when you've got a Cam Whitmore coming back, and then let's be honest, we haven't even talked about
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams. They brought Steven Adams in to back up Alperen Sengun. So that means that will push Jock Landale
48 minutes. You get 48 minutes of just good center play, and if anything happens to Steven Adams, you need to load manage Steven Adams. You have Landale right there that you can go
or
to.
You,
and I think
if you want to go to a smaller lineup, you have Jeff Green if you decide to bring him back. Unfortunately, I hate to say it because he is a fan favorite. This was hilarious last night. With 4 minutes left in the game, his chance started going out throughout the stadium. We want Boban. I'm like, bro, it's only a 9-point game. They're not going to bring Boban.
Thank you. I don't know why they was doing that. I didn't understand that, but I was like, bro,
it's only a 9-point game. It's if we were up 20, yeah, I could definitely see possibly that.
Shit, not in the NBA.
Well, and not with the NBA, way that 20-point league can be gone. I think his name is Desamu or whatever his name is.
He was hitting.
Yeah, he was hitting.
Yeah. He had 31 points. He finished with 31 points.
He was hitting. No, he had 35.
It got tight. It got tight down the stretch. It got really tight. And the Rockets were struggling hitting shots. Van Fleet had some terrible turnovers. He was missing shots. Jalen was settling for step back threes. I felt like he went way too long without touching the ball. And then Jock Landale, the savior, got the rebound, got the and-one, put it back, made the free throw, and that was all she wrote. But the offense did get stagnant. The offense did get stagnant.
I remember
wide open three after wide open three.
And I remember the terrible turnover that Van Fleet had. And I remember what you're talking
about. He just threw it. He just threw
lobbed it up, and like it was expecting Jalen to go snatch it out the air. And I was just like, first of all, give him an opportunity to go snatch it. But that was terrible.
That one was terrible.
And
Jalen wasn't even looking. Yeah,
he wasn't even looking for it, and by the time he saw it, I think it was Kobe White coming towards the ball, and I think that resulted in either a pull-up three or it was
they got a rebound. No, they got he went in, he tried to get the rebound. No, he went in, he missed, and one of his teammates picked it up and got the I think they got an N1 and they maybe just made the layup.
I was sitting there and I'm like, what are you doing? Like at that point, we had a double-digit lead, and it's like, and I remember telling the people around me, I was just like, you know what? Honestly, they just need one bucket, and that ices it. That's all. Because at that point,
Landale
provided that one bucket. And I remember when they missed the shot. We were up 9. They missed the shot. We got the rebound. I think it was a minute left in the game, or a minute and a half. No, it was a minute and a half left in the game. I was like, kill the clock, sit here, kill the clock. For 20, that's exactly what Jalen Green did. He brought it up. He killed the clock. Did a pick and roll with Jacques. They didn't get the point, or they didn't get the. He didn't get the assist because Jacques missed it, but he got his rebound, put it up for the end one.
I really don't. Before we go into the next topic, which I think you'll really enjoy, I haven't told you what it is, but I know you're going to enjoy it 100%.
All right.
I don't like when teams do that. When you're up, I don't care if you're up 8, 7, 9, 10, 11. Run your offense at the end. Don't worry about the clock. Run your offense. If you run your offense, you'll execute in the normal flow. When you slow down the game and you say, we're going to get one shot, the other team is going into transition, and you're icing out the other team by waiting on you to ISO one shot. Now, if you make the shot, perfect, but it's just, I don't like when teams do that. I feel like it always ends up you blowing the lead
at the end of the day,
the game being closer than it has to be.
I get where you're coming from because you want them to run their offense in the flow of the game, but at the same time, when we're already struggling offensively the way we were, to kill some time, because at that moment the clock is our friend and it isn't their friend. At that moment, like if our offense was cooking, then go do whatever it is you want to do. But at that moment, we were struggling getting points and getting buckets as it was with dumb turnovers. Fred VanVleet had a freaking 8-second turnover, and I'm like,
oh yeah, that was when the game was over though. Yeah, that was
but I'm like, still, like, what are you? Yeah. I was like, but what are you doing? Like, that's just a dumb mental. That was just a damn mental note at that point. But yeah, they
this next topic though.
This next topic.
I want to say you're gonna have to take the floor on this because I am not well versed. I will say that on camera. This is Kyle's expertise. What's up with them Cougars, man? What they gonna do in the tournament? Number one seed. Are they gonna lose to Oakland? Are they going to lose to an Oakland, man?
No, they're not.
Are they like? We're not going to. Is this a Final Four team?
I won't say Final Four, but they're definitely an Elite 8 team. I won't say Final Four. So many
people talking about them if it's only Elite 8.
Let me put it to you.
Is that what we do in this city? We get excited for the Elite 8?
Honestly, bro, because the reason why is because there's a lot of good teams out there. Now, and here's what's crazy. People on ESPN are saying that we're gonna make it past Oakland, and A&M's gonna smoke us on Sunday. And I'm like, the fuck out of here with that shit. A&M ain't gonna smoke nothing. A&M ain't smoked nothing since Johnny Manziel been there. Shut the fuck up.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I mean, and then it's not the same as football. The SEC is not anything in basketball compared to the Big 12. I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
Absolutely,
it ain't happening.
Yeah, it's not football.
Everyone is hating on the Houston Cougars because, and I will say this, they got they ass mollywopped by the Iowa State in the Big 12 championship.
I heard about that game.
No, it was fucking 64-31 or some shit. They got fucking destroyed. It was terrible.
Wow.
It was terrible. Wow. But I mean, if you go back and look at that, our 3 guards could not hit the broadside of a barn. I think they combined for like, I'm not going to pull it up, but I mean, it was something absurd. They couldn't hit 3-pointers. They couldn't score. And it wasn't really anything Iowa State was doing outlandishly. You know, they were playing good defense, but it wasn't like, you know, lockdown defense to where you're not getting anything at all. We just weren't making our shots, and at the end of the day, we weren't executing our offense. Now, the one thing that Houston does better than, if not, I think they're the best defensive team in college basketball. So that's the one thing. Defense travels. I think it's been a week since we've played. We played a night at 8:20. So if y'all watching, we play Friday night, March 22nd at 8:20 in the evening.
Who do they play?
Play Oakland. They play Oakland.
Wait,
and
Oakland, the team that just beat Kentucky?
Oh no, I'm sorry, not Oakland. They play Lockwood. I'm sorry, they play Lockwood.
Oh, okay.
So I was actually saying, leading into the Big 12 championship, leading into that entire weekend, I was actually saying I wanted the Houston Cougars to lose. I wanted them to lose one game going into March Madness, going into the bracket.
Them a little bit, pay attention to detail,
because they lost 2 bad games against Kansas and TCU, I believe it was, earlier in the year, and back-to-back games. They lost games that they had no business losing at all, and then they went on like 8 or 10 game run basically to close out the year, and it wasn't even close. They were killing these teams. I think the only 2 teams that gave them a run for their money was Oklahoma. We won at the last minute in Oklahoma, and then I think the other one was Iowa State. Iowa State's been our kryptonite all year long, because Iowa State killed us when we played them in Iowa, and then we played them here at home towards the end of the year.
That's when they did them about 30? They did them at 30 like that in Houston?
No, they did us. They did us dirty in Kansas in the Big 12 championship. So
gotcha. That was in Kansas. Okay, I'm about to say, I know they didn't do that shit in Houston and got out of there.
In Houston, it was a good game, but Iowa State was never going to win that game. Like, it was like, you know, they would keep it like within like 8 or 9 points, but it was like y'all were never going to get it going. Like, it was never, you were never going to catch up in Houston.
Is there an NBA lottery talent on this team? Is there somebody that's like similar to last year? I think the University of Houston had somebody go.
They had Jarris Walker. Jarris Walker went to Indiana last year.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's just, there's no lottery talent.
The reason why I will say no is because of lack of size. Now, if Jamal Shedd's only 6'1", and he's not a elite scorer. He's a great on-ball pest defender. My comparison to him is a better version of Patrick Beverly. Honestly. Okay. He'll lock you down defensively.
So like Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he'll lock you. There you go, like Marcus Smart. Okay. Now, if he grew to 6'3" and improved his 3-point shot a little bit more, he can facilitate and he could play insane defense. And they were saying he's a crazy great leader. It's like having another coach on the floor with him. LJ Cryer, if he got a little bigger, he's also 6'1". If he grew to 6'3", 6'4", he'd be an insane shooting guard. And the other player that actually has a really good opportunity, because he's a freshman starting on this offense, is Emmanuel Sharp. If he gets a little more consistent with his 3-point shot, I think he can really go places. The one biggest kryptonite in my eyes with this Houston Cougars team is they lack they lack true size, if you get what I'm saying.
Like 6'7" bigs, 6'8" bigs,
They've
not
got
real
6'7",
bigs.
6'8" bigs. They don't have 6'9", 6'10" bigs.
Okay.
But their bigs are very agile. They're able to move around. They're able to switch. And they're able to guard other positions. So
it seems like University of Houston gets like a lot of, like, I look at Jarris Walker. He kind of looks like a Draymond Green type of player. Like,
I guess,
not
but
necessarily.
In my eyes, he's a better. But in my eyes, he's a better scorer. So
of course, I'm not saying to the T that Draymond Green. I'm talking about in terms of they're like a tweener. They're in between in terms of size. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm
that
talking
makes
about.
sense. Jarris Walker was a really good player. I felt like last year they had a real opportunity with Marcus Sasser also being there, because Marcus Sasser, the year that he hurt his foot was 2 years ago. I really thought they had an opportunity to make a run at it. I think that was the year that they made it to the Final Four and lost to Michigan State. I think that's who they lost to 2 years ago. But honestly, they're a Final Four team if they're hitting their shots, because they will annoy the ever-living hell out of you with their defense. And they will always play defense. Tune in.
So what I'm going to need you to do, tonight's probably not a good night. Maybe it is, but you stay far, so no, it's probably not a good night. We're gonna when the University of Houston Cougars get closer, we have to go watch a game. I don't know where, I don't know when, but you would tell me you obviously be the lead dog.
Bro, you're gonna have when you say we need to go watch a game, are you saying like going to go watch them at?
No,
or
not
are you saying going to a bar?
No. Go to a bar. Obviously.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. I'm like,
bro. I'm a realist. I am a realist. I know we're not going there. No, I'm just talking about, and they might not even be playing in Houston. But I was just talking about just watching at a bar.
Houston had the Final Four last year, so.
Okay, that's what I was saying. So we probably I'm talking about just going to a bar, man. Like, watching a game, and
honestly,
hopefully the Rockets not playing that night, so there's no distractions.
I was gonna say, honestly, realistically, we can go fucking catch a Rockets game at the bar too. I mean,
yes.
I was actually gonna bring it to your attention. They play Golden State in 2 weeks on a Thursday here in Houston. If you wanted to go try and see that.
Thursday will definitely in 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to. April 4th. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you about it off camera. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, I got you. I want to bring it to your attention.
I should be able to move things around. I'm gonna try to move things around, and try to make sure I'm available for that day. Absolutely. So yeah, man, like this, I'm definitely excited. I also got to tell you about something that's happening on the 6th as well, off camera. That's an off camera conversation. But
I got you.
How, like, what is your at the game when you went? What was your go-to beverage? You said you was drinking something. Like, what was the beverage?
I was keeping it simple. I had a Jack and Coke. No, Jack and Coke.
Oh, a Jack and Coke.
Oh yeah, bro.
You're not a real drinker, man. You're not a real drinker.
I'm not a real drinker. What?
You left half that glass in there undrinking and left.
Hell nah. That thing was by the end of the night, it was nothing but ice. It was nothing but ice. There was no Coke or Jack left in that thing. It was nothing but watered ice.
Hey,
that's all that was.
I say Jack and Coke, hold the Coke, please. Like, don't water my shit up, man.
Not with them, bro. Not with them prices. I went in there and I was just like, let me get a Jack and Coke, and she was like, do you want a double or do you want a single or a double? And I'm like, I'll take a single. And then I paid for it, and I'm like, bro, this motherfucker was $17, and the fucking cup was like this damn big. Like, it wasn't nothing. And I'm like, I paid $17.
Jack and Coke, they gonna give you that little cylinder junk.
That's plastic airline cup or whatever the hell was.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, $17 for this, and you want me to pay for a double? Oh, hell nah. You got me all kinds of fucked up.
If you're trying to, you know what you got to do. This is what I learned. So of course everybody knows about the viral moment of me cheating, quote unquote, whatever. But that night, she took me to pregame at that Papacitos that's right next to Toyota Center. We went there, we pregame. I was lit the whole night off of like margaritas, Papacitos. I was drinking. I was knocking.
That's what you got to do, though.
So when I got to the game, one Jack and Coke was fine. Like, I was already.
But
lit,
here's the thing, bro. I mean? She was your designated driver, right? I ain't had one of those.
Let's say that. Let's say that.
Yeah, I ain't had one of those. I was my own designated driver. I was there by my damn self. I was there having a good time, enjoying myself. I drank enough.
You got a far ass drive.
And exactly. I got to drive back up to Kingwood after that. That's a good 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So, well, depending on traffic. But yeah, no. And then on top of that, last night it was pouring down rain too. So, yeah, I'm not trying to be.
It came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, and I ain't trying to I ain't trying to be stumbling down the stairs and you know yeah no. Now if I had
I
somebody else
get you.
driving me, if I was if I was like you and I had a lady with me and whatnot and she was driving, oh yeah, I would have been the life of the party at that moment. But well,
Man,
I was
look,
already the
man. Hey,
life of the
listen,
party.
also, I know this is mostly hoops, and we talked about the Rockets. We talked about what you did at the game. Cool, cool, cool. Maybe you
Mhm.
haven't listened to it, man. The streets are buzzing right now. Kendrick Lamar dropped a verse. He went at Drake. He went at J. Cole, apparently.
I have not
A
heard it
lot of
yet
people
then.
talking about a lot of people talking about the verse, man. It's crazy. I'm going to just say this, man. Look, be careful about J. Cole, because J. Cole, when he goes, he goes. So Kendrick, you better tread lightly. You know what I'm saying? The record is hot. I'm not gonna lie, it's hot. I want to
I
give
have
him a
not heard
shout
it.
out. But
I haven't
yeah,
heard
but
it yet.
it's called Like That. That's what it's called.
Like
Just
that?
listen to it.
All right, I
It's
got you.
Future and Kendrick Lamar. Metro Boomin produced it. It's a nice song, man. But hey, for everybody, thank you for watching. This has been episode 3 of the No Narratives podcast. Mostly
Yes,
Houston this
sir.
episode. We're gonna clip it up. We're gonna send it out. We're gonna post it on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Y'all have a good day. Adios.